Have you ever planned your own birthday, only to feel like a stranger at your own celebration? I thought I knew who I was celebrating with, until that night. It was barely 7 a.m., and Seattle was still half shrouded in mist, the city's iconic skyline barely visible through the apartment window. Rain traced lazy, meandering lines down the glass, and the rumble of distant buses blended with the hum of early morning life. Inside her cozy Capitol Hill apartment, Emilia Reyes stood by her kitchen counter, cradling a chipped mug between her palms. The faint aroma of dark roast coffee mingled with the scent of jasmine from the potted plant on her windowsill, a small, comforting rebellion against the city's drizzle. Her living room was a patchwork of colors and textures. Watercolors splashed with abstract shapes hung above a bookshelf crowded with novels and old travel guides. A worn blue throw was draped over the couch, and a stack of birthday cards, some still unopened, rested on the coffee table. Emilia's laptop, propped on a pile of cookbooks, pinged softly with reminders for the day. She ignored them for now, eyes drifting over the playlist she'd built for her birthday party, every song chosen with care. Today was supposed to be her day. 29. Not a milestone, exactly, but something about the number felt significant to Emilia. A last lap before 30, a year to claim as her own. She wanted it to be special, memorable, real. Still in her soft cotton pajamas, Emilia leaned against the counter and scrolled through her phone. There were birthday messages already, emojis from her younger brother in Portland, a video of her parents singing off-key. She smiled, but the knot in her stomach tightened when she reached the message from Jasper. "Morning, beautiful. Hope you're ready for tonight. It's all taken care of. Trust me." She wanted to trust him. She really did. The sound of a key in the lock startled her. Celeste Kim, Emilia's best friend and unofficial roommate, breezed in with a paper bag and a grin. Celeste's presence was a balm, her hair tied up in a messy bun, cheeks pink from the cold, and eyes sparkling with the same caffeinated energy she carried everywhere. "Happy birthday, Em!" Celeste sang out, dropping the bag on the counter. "I come bearing almond croissants and moral support." Emilia managed a laugh, letting Celeste pull her into a quick hug. She felt the tension in her shoulders ease a little. "Is it weird I'm nervous?" Emilia asked, voice barely above a whisper. Outside, a city bus hissed to a stop, headlights glowing against the gray. Celeste shook her head, rummaging for plates. "Nope. Not when Jasper's involved. He's been, what's the word? Extra enthusiastic this week." Emilia smiled, half-hearted. "Yeah, he keeps saying he wants to make it unforgettable. But every time we talk about the party, it turns into something else. He's booked this rooftop downtown." "Wait, the new place in Belltown?" Celeste interrupted, eyebrows lifting. Emilia nodded. "He said it's the hottest spot, but I barely know half the people he invited. His colleagues, some of his gym friends, cousins I've never met. I just wanted, something small." Celeste poured coffee, her expression softening. "He loves you. He just wants to show you off. Or maybe he wants to show off the party," Emilia said, more sharply than she intended. She looked away, embarrassed. "Sorry, I'm just tired, and I haven't seen him in days. He's always at work or planning something or texting someone." Celeste set a plate in front of her. "You're allowed to want your own birthday, Em. But maybe it'll be fun, even if it's not exactly what you pictured." Emilia tried to believe her. She ran her fingers through her dark hair, tucking a strand behind her ear. "I hope so." By late morning, the rain had lightened to a persistent drizzle. Emilia changed into jeans and a soft green sweater, her signature gold necklace resting at her collarbone, then made her way to Jasper's apartment. The city felt alive in that uniquely Seattle way. Umbrellas bobbing along Pike Street, the distant clang of a streetcar, the earthy scent of wet pavement. Jasper's building was glass and steel, a modern contrast to her own quirky place. As she rode the elevator up, Emilia rehearsed what she wanted to say. She didn't want to sound ungrateful, but she also didn't want to feel invisible at her own party. The doors slid open to Jasper's floor. His apartment was always immaculate, with sleek furniture and minimalist art, an intentional curated space. She found him at his desk, backlit by the city skyline, typing furiously on his laptop. He looked up, flashing that easy, practiced smile that first drew her in. "Hey, birthday girl!" Jasper rose, crossing the room to kiss her cheek. He smelled of cedar and mint, his shirt crisp and unwrinkled. "Hey," Emilia replied, forcing a smile. "Busy morning?" "Just wrapping up a few things for tonight." He gestured to the couch. "Sit. I've got something for you." Emilia perched on the edge of the cushion, watching as Jasper disappeared into the kitchen. He returned with a small box wrapped in silver paper. Inside was a delicate bracelet, gold with tiny sapphires. "It's beautiful," she breathed, genuinely touched. He grinned, sliding the bracelet onto her wrist. "You deserve the best tonight. I want everyone to see how amazing you are." She hesitated. "Jasper, can we talk about the party? I noticed the guest list. It's a lot of your friends. I was hoping for something smaller, just the people who know me, you know?" He sat beside her, squeezing her hand. I promise it's going to be great. These people are going to love you. And this is your year. Big energy, right?" He laughed, but there was an edge to his voice, like he was trying to convince himself as much as her. She nodded, letting the subject drop. There was no point pushing. Jasper had always been the social one, the connector, the life of every room. Sometimes she envied that about him. Sometimes she felt lost in his shadow. He glanced at his watch. "I've got to run some errands. Last-minute party stuff. You good for a bit?" "Yeah," Emilia said, rising. "I'll head home. Celeste and I have a pre-party tradition, face masks and bad reality TV." He kissed her forehead, then returned to his desk, already focused on his screen. As she gathered her things, Emilia's eyes drifted across Jasper's desk. A stack of party supplies, a few envelopes, a yellow sticky note with scribbled reminders. "Order ice, confirm DJ, special toast, don't forget." The phrase "special toast" was underlined twice, circled in red. She frowned. Special toast? He hadn't mentioned that. For a second, she wondered if he'd planned a surprise proposal. The thought made her heart race and her palms sweat, a mix of hope and dread. But in that moment, all she felt was confusion. Why didn't he tell her? She slipped out quietly, the rain picking up again as she stepped onto the street. Traffic hissed on wet asphalt, and the city's energy pressed in from all sides. Back at her apartment, Celeste was waiting with sheet masks and a playlist of early 2000s pop. They sprawled on the couch, faces slick with serums, laughing at the absurdity of it all. "So, did you talk to him?" Celeste asked, voice muffled by her mask. Emilia shook her head. "He's just excited. He wants this to be big. There's a special toast he wrote about, but he didn't say anything." Celeste peeled off her mask, tossing it into the trash. "Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe he's planning something for you. You deserve it." "Yeah," Emilia said, but doubt lingered at the edges. The afternoon passed in a blur of phone calls and outfit changes. Emilia's phone vibrated with messages from Jasper, updates about the venue, reminders to bring your best smile. She tried to focus on the details she could control. The right shoes, the playlist, the friends who mattered. But beneath the excitement, a sense of unease grew. It wasn't about the party, really. It was about feeling seen, about knowing that, for one night, she was the center of something real. As the sun dipped behind the clouds, casting long shadows across the city, Emilia stood in front of her mirror. She wore a simple navy dress, hair pinned back, the gold bracelet glinting at her wrist. She looked like herself, but tonight, that didn't feel like enough. Celeste appeared in the doorway, phone in hand. "Ready?" Emilia nodded, grabbing her coat. "Let's go." They stepped into the night, the city lights flickering to life around them. Emilia tried to shake off her nerves. Maybe she was overthinking it. Maybe tonight would surprise her in the best way. But as she walked toward the unknown, one thought echoed in her mind. Why did that note about the special toast feel like a warning instead of a promise? The answer, she would soon learn, was waiting for her on a rooftop high above the city, hidden among strangers, laughter, and the promise of celebration. The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime, spilling golden light onto the rooftop's polished concrete. Emilia stepped out, Celeste just behind her, both pausing for a breath as the city spread beneath them, skyscrapers against a dusky blue, neon signs blinking to life. The rooftop was alive with laughter and music, a curated playlist humming from unseen speakers. Strings of Edison bulbs crisscrossed overhead, casting a warm glow over clusters of guests, most of whom Emilia barely recognized. She smoothed the fabric of her mint green dress, the one she'd chosen weeks ago, imagining how it would feel to be surrounded by people who knew her well. Instead, she caught sight of Jasper near the bar, tossing his head back in a laugh at something Owen Patel said. Half the crowd wore the easy confidence of Jasper's marketing circle, dressed sharp, greeting each other with inside jokes and backslaps. Emilia searched the faces, looking for familiarity, but most offered polite nods, moving on without more than a smile. Celeste nudged her gently. "You okay?" she whispered, her words barely audible over the clink of ice and the DJ's mellow beats. Emilia forced a smile. "Just trying to get my bearings. I hardly know anyone here." She nodded toward a group near the fire pit, all deep in conversation about a recent campaign launch. Celeste squeezed Emilia's arm. "It's your party, Em. You should feel at home." Emilia laughed quietly, a little rueful. "I wish I did." Jasper spotted them and weaved over, 2 drinks in hand. "There you are. I was just about to send out a search party." He handed Emilia a sparkling drink with a sprig of rosemary, her favorite, or at least she'd thought so. She took a sip and tasted grapefruit, not the elderflower she preferred. "Having fun?" Jasper asked, his eyes darting around the rooftop. "It's beautiful. You really went all out," Emilia offered, careful with her words. He grinned, clearly pleased. "Only the best for you. And hey, check out the skyline. You've got the best seat in the house tonight." As he drifted away to greet another wave of arrivals, Celeste leaned in. "He's trying. Maybe a little too hard to impress everyone but you." Emilia managed a laugh, but her stomach twisted. The cryptic note she'd found that morning, "Don't forget the special toast," echoed in her mind. She'd assumed it was about her, but now she wasn't so sure. Moving through the crowd, Emilia tried to mingle. She introduced herself to a pair of women chatting about a recent product launch at Jasper's company. They smiled politely, then turned back to their conversation about someone's big win last week. Emilia waited for her name to come up, but it never did. She found Owen by the buffet, piling his plate with miniature tacos. He greeted her with his usual warmth. "Hey, birthday girl, great party, huh?" "Thanks," she said, then gestured to the group he'd just left. "Seems like everyone's celebrating something tonight." Owen laughed. "Yeah, it's been a wild week. But tonight's all about you." His tone was genuine, but as soon as Jasper called him over, Owen excused himself, leaving Emilia alone again. The hours passed in a blur of polite conversation, laughter that never quite included her, and glances toward Jasper, who seemed perpetually surrounded. The rooftop filled as the sky deepened into indigo. Emilia watched as Jasper clapped Owen on the back, the two sharing a conspiratorial smile. She caught snippets of conversation. "He totally deserves it. After all the late nights, can't believe they finally promoted him." Celeste returned with a pair of cupcakes from the dessert table. "You look like you need a sugar boost." Emilia accepted one gratefully. "Did you hear what they're talking about? It's all about Owen getting promoted. Not exactly birthday chatter." Celeste glanced at the group, then back at Emilia. "Do you want to say something to Jasper? This is your night." Emilia hesitated, picking at the frosting. "I don't want to cause a scene. Maybe I'm just being sensitive." "You're not," Celeste said firmly. You deserve to be celebrated, Em. And if you don't speak up, you'll regret it. Emilia nodded, but her chest tightened. She looked around. Her own party. But somehow she'd become a guest in Jasper's meticulously planned event. The music shifted to a lively beat, and guests gathered around the photo booth, snapping shots with oversized sunglasses and feather boas. Jasper passed by, pausing to kiss Emilia on the cheek. "Almost time for the toast," he said, his voice low. "You ready?" She forced a smile, nerves prickling under her skin. "Sure. Should I prepare a speech?" He laughed, glancing toward the bar. "Just enjoy the moment. I've got it covered." As he walked away, Emilia watched his retreating figure. She felt Celeste's hand on her shoulder. "If you want, I'll stand right by you when it happens." "You're not alone." Emilia nodded, grateful for her friend's steady presence. The minutes ticked by. Someone from Jasper's team started passing out glasses of champagne. Even the bartender paused his cocktail shaking to watch. Emilia's mind spun with questions. Was she overreacting? Was the party always meant to be this way? The note about the special toast burned in her pocket, a reminder that something else was coming. The crowd began to gather in the center of the rooftop, circling around Jasper as he stepped onto a small platform near the string lights. His confident posture, the way he tapped his glass for attention, he owned the moment. Owen joined him, looking slightly uncomfortable. Jasper draped an arm around his friend's shoulders, whispering something that made Owen laugh nervously. Celeste moved to Emilia's side, pressing a fresh glass of champagne into her hand. "It's okay to feel how you feel," she murmured. The city below sparkled, the Space Needle a distant silhouette against the night sky. Emilia glanced around, faces expectant, phones at the ready, everyone waiting for Jasper to speak. Her thoughts tumbled. Was this toast really about her? Or had her birthday become a backdrop for someone else's celebration? Jasper cleared his throat, lifting his glass high. "If I could have everyone's attention, just for a moment." The rooftop fell silent, anticipation thick in the air. Jasper glanced at Emilia, his eyes unreadable, then turned back to the crowd. Emilia's heart hammered. She looked at Celeste, who gave a reassuring nod. And just as Jasper opened his mouth, Emilia caught another whisper from the group behind her. "He really deserves this. No one works harder than Owen." The words cut through her resolve. She squeezed her eyes shut for a second, steadying herself. Jasper smiled wide, glass still raised. "Tonight I want to make a very special toast." Emilia barely heard the beginning, her mind whirling with confusion, hope, and a growing sense of dread. Before we find out what Jasper's really toasting, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next, make sure to subscribe for more unexpected real-life stories. Sometimes the truth reveals itself when you least expect it. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what comes next. The sunset over Seattle was a painting in motion, streaks of tangerine and violet melting into the deepening blue. The city skyline standing sentinel against the shifting light. Above it all, the rooftop bar pulsed with energy, glasses clinking, laughter tumbling through the air, the low thrum of music vibrating underfoot. Emilia stood at the edge of the crowd, her shoulders drawn tight, fingers nervously twisting the silver ring on her right hand. Tonight was supposed to be hers, yet as dusk deepened, she felt herself fading further into the background. A gentle breeze caught the hem of her dress, cool against her skin. The rooftop was filled with faces, most of them unfamiliar, a blur of Jasper's work friends and acquaintances. Every so often, someone would offer her a polite, "Happy birthday," but their eyes slid away, searching for someone else. She watched Jasper glide between clusters of guests, laughter easy and unforced. He caught her gaze once. His grin was bright, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. Celeste materialized at her side, holding out a glass of sparkling water. "Try to breathe, Em," she murmured, her voice low but urgent. "It's your night. You don't have to perform for anyone." Emilia managed a small smile. "It doesn't feel like my night. she admitted, scanning the crowd. I barely know anyone here. It's like I'm an extra in someone else's movie. Celeste's grip tightened on her shoulder. You're not. Whatever's going on, you deserve to be celebrated. In the center of the rooftop, Owen Patel, Jasper's ever-cheerful colleague, was telling a story, the group around him roaring with laughter. Emilia caught snippets. Promotion. Finally happened. Couldn't have done it without you, man. She frowned, replaying the conversations she'd overheard all evening. People congratulating Owen, Jasper slapping him on the back, talk of big changes at work. No one mentioned her birthday, except in passing. She tried to shake it off. Maybe Jasper was just nervous, or maybe this was his way of making her feel special, throwing a big party, bringing people together. Still, the cryptic note she'd found on his desk earlier echoed in her mind. Special toast. Don't let her know. She'd convinced herself it was a romantic surprise. Now, doubt gnawed at her. A sudden hush swept across the rooftop. Jasper climbed onto a small platform near the bar, tapping his glass with a fork. The sound rang out, crisp and commanding. Conversations died down, and faces turned toward him, expectant. Emilia felt her heart pound, a blend of hope and dread rising in her chest. Was this it? The special toast? Something just for her? Jasper flashed his signature smile, his voice clear and confident. If I could have everyone's attention for a moment. He waited, the city's golden evening glow framing him. Thank you all for being here tonight. It means a lot to have so many friends, old and new, together on this amazing rooftop, with this amazing view. He paused, glancing toward Emilia. For a fleeting second, she saw something uncertain flicker in his eyes, a hesitation, maybe even guilt. But then it was gone, replaced by practiced ease. Now, I know you all think we're here for just one reason tonight, Jasper continued. But actually, there's something else, something really important. He gestured for Owen to join him. Owen's smile faltered as he made his way up, glancing nervously at Emilia, then back to Jasper. Jasper raised his glass, voice growing more animated. Tonight, we're not just celebrating another trip around the sun. He chuckled, the crowd following with polite laughter. We're also here to recognize someone who's worked insanely hard, who's always the life of the party, and who just got a well-deserved promotion. Owen Patel. A cheer went up. Owen looked caught between embarrassment and surprise, his eyes darting around for support. Emilia's world narrowed, sound distorting, the city lights blurring at the edges of her vision. Her birthday. This was supposed to be her night, her toast. Instead, she stood frozen as the crowd erupted in applause for Owen. Jasper clapped him on the back, drawing him into a half hug. Someone started a chant. Owen! Owen! And the rooftop buzzed with energy. She felt Celeste's hand find hers, squeezing tightly. I'm so sorry, Celeste whispered, anger and disbelief in her voice. This is not okay. Owen cleared his throat, looking genuinely uncomfortable. Thank you, Jasper. That means a lot, but... He paused, searching the crowd until his gaze landed on Emilia. But actually, we're also here for Emilia. It's her birthday. She's the reason we're all together. So let's not forget the real star tonight. A ripple of agreement moved through the group, some guests nodding, others looking sheepish. Jasper's smile faltered, but he quickly recovered. Of course, Emilia. This is your night, too. He raised his glass again, but the moment had shifted. The energy was off. The crowd's attention had splintered. Emilia's cheeks burned. She forced a smile, nodding as people turned, belatedly wishing her a happy birthday. But the damage was done. She felt exposed, her celebration hijacked by someone else's achievement. The cryptic note made sense now. Jasper's special toast had never really been about her. She remembered the little details. How Jasper had insisted on the rooftop venue. How so many guests were Owen's friends or colleagues. how the playlist didn't include a single one of her favorite songs. She thought back to Jasper and Owen huddled together earlier, Jasper's reassuring, "Trust me, it'll be great." She'd ignored her own instincts, convinced herself she was just being insecure. Celeste stepped forward, her voice steady but gentle. "I think we can all agree Emilia deserves more than a footnote." She turned to Emilia, meeting her eyes. "Happy birthday, Em. You matter to all of us, at least to those of us who know you." There was an awkward silence, then a few guests clapped, more heartfelt this time. Owen was the first to cross the distance, offering Emilia an apologetic smile. "I'm really sorry, Emilia. I had no idea Jasper was combining things." Emilia shook her head, her voice soft. "It's not your fault, Owen. Congratulations, really." She looked at Jasper then, searching for something in his face, a sign of remorse, or at least understanding. He stepped toward her, hands raised in a gesture of apology. I just wanted it to be memorable. I thought, maybe we could celebrate both." "I didn't mean to—" She cut him off, her voice calm but edged with hurt. "You didn't mean to make me feel invisible?" "Because that's exactly how it feels." For a heartbeat, no one spoke. The sunset had faded, city lights flickering on one by one, casting the rooftop in a soft electric glow. The party continued around them, but Emilia felt suddenly isolated, her own birthday dissolving into the background noise of other people's lives. She looked at Celeste, who nodded encouragingly, then slipped her arm around Emilia's shoulders. "Let's get some air," Celeste suggested. Together they slipped away from the group, weaving through the clusters of guests, laughter and chatter growing fainter with each step. Outside on a quieter terrace, Emilia drew in a shaky breath. The city stretched before her, alive and indifferent. She let the silence settle, the cool night air clearing some of the fog in her mind. Celeste turned to her, eyes bright with empathy. "You did nothing wrong, Em. You deserved better than that." Emilia managed a small, sad smile. "I kept telling myself it was all in my head. Every red flag, every moment I felt out of place. I wanted to believe Jasper knew me, that he'd listen. But it was never about me." She closed her eyes, replaying the events of the evening. The unfamiliar faces, the feeling of being a guest at her own party, the moment her birthday became a footnote. It all made sense now. The cryptic note, the guest list, the special toast. The payout was clear and undeniable. On the birthday that was supposed to be hers, Emilia learned who Jasper was really toasting. And it wasn't her. As the city's lights shimmered below, Emilia realized something had shifted inside her. The party might have been for someone else, but what happened next, how she chose to respond, would belong to her alone. The morning after the party, Seattle felt softer, washed clean by a light rain that left the city glistening. Emilia walked through Volunteer Park with Celeste by her side, the air fresh with the scent of wet grass and blooming camellias. Sunlight filtered through the tall evergreens, dappling the path in shifting patterns. Emilia's hands wrapped around a paper cup of coffee, its warmth grounding her as she replayed the events of the night before. She hadn't slept much. The hollow ache from the rooftop party lingered. But now, away from the crowd, the clinking glasses, the forced laughter, she could finally hear her own thoughts. Celeste matched her steps, quiet until Emilia broke the silence. "I keep thinking about that moment," Emilia said, her voice soft but steady. "When he toasted Owen, on my birthday, I felt invisible." Celeste looked at her, eyes full of empathy. "You weren't invisible, Em. You were just surrounded by people who didn't see you the way you deserve." They found an empty bench overlooking a small pond, rainwater rippling gently in the breeze. Emilia sat, letting her shoulders drop. "Maybe I should have said something last night. I froze. I didn't want to make a scene." Celeste nodded, understanding. "You don't owe anyone a performance. But you do owe yourself honesty." Emilia sipped her coffee, watching a pair of ducks glide across the water. "I thought Jasper understood me. We've been together almost 3 years. But last night, it was like he didn't know me at all. Jasper's good at bringing people together, Celeste said gently. But maybe he's not so good at knowing what you need. A beat passed. The city's morning sounds, distant traffic, a jogger's rhythmic footfalls, the laughter of a nearby child, filled the quiet. I spent so much time trying to make things easy for him, Emilia admitted, letting him take the lead. I thought that's what being a good partner looked like. But maybe I lost track of myself in the process. Celeste squeezed her hand. You're not alone in that. But this, what happened last night, doesn't have to define you. It can be the start of something better. For you, Emilia breathed deeply, the crispness of the air clearing her mind. I think I need to talk to him. Really talk. Not just let things slide. Do you want me to come with you? Celeste offered. Emilia smiled, grateful. No. I think I need to do this myself. The decision settled in her chest, a mix of nerves and relief. She finished her coffee, feeling a quiet strength return. Later that afternoon, Emilia stood outside Jasper's apartment building, the city buzzing around her. She hesitated, then buzzed his unit. He answered almost immediately. The elevator ride was silent except for the soft jazz piped through the speakers. When Jasper opened the door, he looked surprised and worried. Emilia, hey, I was just about to call you. She stepped inside, the familiar space now tinged with tension. Can we talk? Jasper nodded, closing the door behind her. Of course. They sat at the kitchen table, sunlight streaming through the wide windows. Jasper fidgeted with a coaster, unable to meet her eyes. I want to be honest, Emilia began, her voice calm but unwavering. Last night hurt me. I felt like my birthday wasn't really about me. It felt like I was just another guest. Jasper's shoulders slumped. I'm so sorry, Emilia. I thought having everyone together would make things special. Owen's promotion was a big deal, and I wanted to celebrate both of you. But I see now that I messed up. Emilia's gaze was steady. You didn't ask me what I wanted. You planned everything, with your friends, your music, your kind of party. I needed to feel seen, Jasper. I needed you to think about me, not just what would look fun. He nodded, guilt in his eyes. You're right. I got caught up in making it a big event. I thought you'd like it, but I didn't stop to consider if it was what you needed. Emilia took a breath, choosing her words carefully. I let a lot of things go because I wanted to avoid conflict. But I can't keep doing that. I need to feel like my voice matters, that I matter. Jasper reached across the table but stopped short, uncertain. You do matter. I'm sorry I made you feel otherwise. Emilia's expression softened, but resolve remained. I can't be the only one compromising, Jasper. I want a partner who listens, who sees me. If we're going to move forward, I need to know you're willing to meet me halfway. He nodded, emotion flickering across his face. I want that too. I'll do better, I promise. She stood, feeling lighter. Thank you for saying that. But it's not just about promises. It's about actions. I need some time to think. Jasper nodded, understanding. Take all the time you need. Emilia left the apartment, her steps sure. For the first time in a while, she felt in control. Not because she'd demanded attention, but because she'd stood up for herself. A week later, Emilia met Celeste at their favorite coffee shop. The city was awash in late afternoon gold, and the cafe hummed with quiet conversation. Emilia wore a soft green sweater, her eyes brighter, her posture open. Celeste grinned. You look lighter, Emilia laughed. I feel lighter. They settled into a corner booth, steam rising from their mugs. I talked to Jasper, Emilia said. Really talked. I told him what I needed. He apologized, and I believe he means it. But I told him I need him to show it, not just say it. Celeste beamed. That's huge, Em. I realized I'd been shrinking myself, always making things easy for everyone else. But that's not what I want anymore. I want to celebrate who I am, not just blend into the background. Celeste raised her cup. To Emilia, the real Emilia. Emilia clinked her mug against Celeste's, a genuine smile breaking across her face. That weekend, Emilia did something she'd been putting off for years. She invited a few close friends, just her people, to her apartment for a small gathering. No big production, no elaborate plans, just laughter, shared stories, and the comfort of being seen. The apartment glowed with soft lamplight. Music played. Her music. There were homemade cupcakes, sparkling water, and a vase of wildflowers Celeste brought. They played board games and reminisced about old adventures. It was simple, imperfect, and exactly what Emilia needed. Owen even stopped by, bringing a card and an awkward but heartfelt apology for his part in the rooftop debacle. Emilia smiled, appreciating the gesture, and welcomed him into the circle. No hard feelings, just understanding. As the night wound down, Emilia looked around at the faces of people who truly knew her. The ache from her birthday faded, replaced by gratitude. She realized she hadn't just reclaimed her celebration, she'd reclaimed her sense of self. Later, as she tidied up, Emilia paused by the window. The city sparkled beyond, alive with possibility. She sent Jasper a message, not a goodbye, but a beginning. I'm learning what I need, and I hope you'll be part of it. But this time, I come first. She smiled, knowing she'd finally given herself the gift she deserved, her own voice. If you've ever felt overlooked or sidelined, even on your own special day, know that you're not alone. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is speak up for what matters to you, even if it's uncomfortable. Emilia's journey is a reminder that your needs are valid, and it's never selfish to ask for the respect and recognition you deserve. What about you? Have you ever stood up for yourself in a moment that mattered? Share your story in the comments. I'd genuinely love to hear it. And if this story touched you, give it a like, subscribe for more real-life stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. After all, our experiences connect us, and your voice might inspire someone else to find their own. Thank you for being here with me and Emilia. Until next time, remember, you deserve to be celebrated just as you are.